Good evening, everyone. Shavua Tov. We're changing mode from Hebrew to English after this beautiful Shabbaton we had here. We actually learned today Torah almost the whole day. We finish eating, and then we learn non-stop until Mincha, about 5 hours or something like that, but straight. But don't worry, it's not going to be 5 hours now, in case you worry. We have approximately an hour and something to talk here tonight. And then I encourage each one of you to ask a lot of questions. While I'm here, you can ask. Because everyone say, I hear you all the time on the internet, but I have a lot of questions. Now it's your time. So you can ask your questions. You know, we have, Baruch Hashem, a very, very large movement of Baalei Tshuva in the world in the last 30 years. It started with the Israelis. It went to New York, to America. It got to LA. Now it's in Florida. I told some people here today, first time I came here, I don't know, maybe 17, 18 years ago, there was only one Sephardi shul in the whole Florida. That's it. Now there's tens of them. I mean, so many names. Minyan here, shul there, opening. Baruch Hashem, it's very good. It's a sign that people become religious. Because you can build as many shuls as you want if you don't have people to fill them up with. So the fact that you need more and more minyanim, that's a sign that more people are interested in religion. And even in the Ashkenazi world, in the American world, in Canada, in Europe, everywhere there's a movement. That's the good news. However, every coin has two sides. The other news is not so great, that the people that are not in religion becoming more and more goyish, meaning they had some Judaism in them, now it's completely gone, which means no more Yom Kippur, nothing kosher, marry goyim, don't care anything about Hashem, don't care about the Torah. One of the reasons that these people do not want to hear about Torah, because they have this impression, thinking, Torah, it's a burden. Life of Judaism, being a religious Jew, they think it's difficult. You can't, you're not allowed this, not allowed that. It's too strict for me. I cannot handle that. Let me do whatever I want. I'm a good person. Thank you. That's how they claim, I'm a good person. You live your life, you let me live my life. But the interesting thing is that God, Hashem, is saying, using prophet Micha, one of the prophets. It appears in Micha 6, verse 3. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem said, Ami, my nation, Ma asiti lach, what did I do to you? Uma eleticha, how did I bother you? Listen to these words. The Hashem said, you complaining that the religion is too hard, that the Torah maybe it's too strict, but really that's not the case here. In another place it says, mamash like that, literally, I'm sick and tired from your complaints. I can't stand the complaints because the complaints are all nonsense. In the Torah it says, Ki lo bashamayim, the obligations to keep the Torah and the laws of Hashem, it's not up in heaven to say who is gonna go up and bring it down to us that we can keep it. Meaning, metaphoric. It's not so far. It's not so far from you. It's not across the ocean to say who will cross the ocean to bring us the Torah that we can keep it. כי קרוב אליך הדבר בפיך ובלבבך לעשותו. It's so close to you. It's a piece of cake. It's much easier than what you think. Much, much, much easier than what you think. כי קרוב אליך הדבר, it's very close to you, בפיך, in your mouth, Ubilvavcha, in your heart, la'asoto, and in your hands, to do. 3 different ways. Religious, to be a religious Jew, you need 3 things. You need to be religious in your mind, meaning in your heart. You have to be religious in your mouth, and you have to be religious in your actions. One without the other 2, it's worthless. Even 2 without the other one, it's worthless. How many times in my life I heard people tell me, Rabbi, don't look at me like that. I'm religious in my heart. So I answer them, do you know what it means to be religious in your heart? They say, what does it mean? I said, let me explain to you what it means. Let's say the newspaper assigned you to write an article about a specific thing. And they need 20 pages to fill up the magazine. 20 pages to type. And you sit all week, you check in the books, check in the internet, you work, you kill yourself. You type and type, you don't sleep at night. And then the due date is Friday. Because they publish it. That's it. Friday, 8 a.m., it's the last moment. After that, that's it. They already printed. You have to send it by Friday morning. And you did everything, and you did not hit send. You did all the job, but you didn't press send. Anything that you did is worth something? Anybody care what you did? Would you get paid? No, nobody would ever assign you for another article. You're done. That's what it means to be religious in your heart. It's like a circuit. It goes between the heart and the mind and never materialize into actions. What is the word? I'm religious in my heart. Hashem, I love you. What's the next thing he does? Eat pork. It's like a person comes to his wife and say, honey, do you know how much I miss you? Right away, smack. She said, do me a favor, I'd rather you don't miss me. Don't kiss me, listen to me. That's all I want, Hashem say. Everyone, when they see the Torah, mwah, mwah, like, you're kissing, you're beautiful with kissing. You're also very nice with speeches. I'm interested in actions. That's what it says. Mutav me'at bekavana ma'asher arbe shelo bekavana. I'd rather you do some with good intention and goodwill than to do a lot like a robot, that your heart is somewhere else. Do the right way. If you do it right. So it says, Beficha ubilvavcha la'asoto. This pasuk is covering all the religion in your mouth, meaning learning Torah, praying, making blessings with your mouth. You can do a lot with your mouth. It's a lot of mitzvot you do with your mouth. You don't speak Lashon Hara. Oh, here you go. You watch your mouth. Many things you can do. You can make shidduchim with your mouth. You can make connections. You can invite people. You can do so many wonderful things. A person doesn't have a mouth. It's very limited. In the heart, it's very difficult. Why? Because if a person is corrupted in his mind, he watches bad things. He listens to bad things. After a while, it makes him very corrupted. When it comes to religion, it's very hard for him to connect because you cannot put pure water in a very dirty bucket. If the bucket is full of stains, dirt, no matter how much water you put inside, it's going to be black. Nobody can drink it. Even if you put 10 gallons of water, pure water from the lake, you went to the spring water, you got it, pure, best water. You put 3 drops of black burning oil from your car. You know this burn oil? That the mechanic just put it down in this bucket. 1, 2, 3 drops. Can you drink from this water? It's all became black now. Nobody will drink. So the dirt, it's an obligation first to clean the dirt before you put something pure inside. That's what the Torah says. Sur mera va'aseh tov. You want to be Baal Tshuva? Sur mera. First, enough with the nonsense. Enough with the sins. Enough with all the garbage around your life. You got to clean this garbage out of your life. You cannot be one leg inside the garbage can and one leg inside my yeshiva or my shul. It can't be. Can't live in 2 worlds. Main problem by the religious people, by the Baalei Tshuva, they don't let go to their old days. They don't let go. Yes, they do more and more mitzvot, but one leg stuck there forever. They stay with the same old friends, which constantly speaks about jokes and dirty things and sports and news and all kinds of things, but nothing Torah. So eventually, every meeting with his friends, you go down. It's affect you. What you hear affect you. You hear all day curses, you begin to speak like that. You hear all kinds of bad things, you become like that. You hear words of Torah all the time, you become like that. How do you know where the mind of the person is? You go on a date with a guy. Let's see, single girl. She goes on a date. They sit in a restaurant, diner, whatever. They begin to talk. How long does it take for the girl to know if this is the right guy for her or not? All you have to do is to talk to him 10, 15 minutes. And then you know exactly where he is. 1 minute, sometimes it's enough, you're right. Depends how critical is this minute. He begin to speak about a movie that he just watched in Hollywood yesterday, then you're right, you don't need more than a minute. If you're a religious girl, you don't want this guy to be your husband, you want someone a little bit more religious. But sometimes it takes time for the truth to come out. In the beginning, it's all a show. I always tell my students, first 3 dates is not an indication to almost anything. Why? First 3 dates, it's fresh, it's all a show. She puts the show, you puts the show. After you feel comfortable with each other, the dirt begin to flow. Then all of a sudden they speak about dirty things and makes dirty comments, and all of a sudden Lashon Hara becomes free, because now we buddies already. I'm on my way to buy her a ring. She's going to be I can't tell the Lashon Hara about all my enemies. Eventually they all open up. Everything begins to come out. So, wow, I was sure she's going to be my wife. All of a sudden, she shocked me with this. Why? Now she feels comfortable, so that's the truth, comes out. Same thing with the men. In the beginning, it's all a show. How many times on the first day you opened the car for her? And 6 months after the marriage, he smacked the car on her head, the door. What happened from opening it to close it on me like this? You're so rude. That's not what you say 6 months ago. You said that I'm the best gentleman. Yeah, of course, it was a show. I thought you're a gentleman. Bottom line, it takes time for the truth to come out. And even the biggest rabbi not always see the truth. I see all the time. I read people pretty quick. After 20 years of dealing with them, you have experience. But many times I get surprised. Many, many times. You expect one thing from a person, he makes very good impression, all of a sudden after a few times, boom, shocking you. You sure that's what he say? How can it be? I would never guess such thing. But how do you know if a person is good for you or not? You let him talk. That's it. Tell him, just talk. Some guys, all they'll talk about is sport. He can tell you all the players, every league, from the beginning of the day until the end, each one how much he makes a year, who's the coach, who's the previous coach. He's Rav Ovadia Yosef of the baseball. Everything you know, every line, computer. Ask him one shura in a Gemara he learned in his life, nothing, mute. But he can tell you, one time I had a guy, he came to my house for Shabbat, Motzei Shabbat we talked, he begins to talk to me about the new Ferrari that came out. He said, Rabbi, there's a new Ferrari, you know, the engine of the Ferrari is in the back. So it's very, very dangerous, because if you go with 300 miles an hour or something into something, it's very dangerous, there's no one to block. He gives me a whole speech about the new Ferrari. Then I thought, okay, he likes the car. Then he started to say the sizes of the tires. The new tires are this size. They change from Michelin to this company. Mamash like a speech, bar mitzvah speech. After I saw how much he's excited for describing the car and the size of the engine. So I said to him, you know, if you would know the Mishnah and the Gemara, the way you devoted yourself for this car, you'd be Gdol Ador. How much some people crazy about phones. Every phone they know. What's the memory, how quick it moves. This, he changed from Intel to AMD. Everything he knows. Where do you have time to learn all this nonsense? How much people put in these things in their life, which it doesn't give them anything. Nobody will open the door of heaven for you if you know the size of the car, or the size of the phone, or how quick it moves. That's all nonsense. Yes, I know. You need to know these things. You don't have to sit and learn. You ask. You're an expert. Tell me which phone is better. This one's much better. Why? 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes, you know the deal. No need to sit and read magazine 50 years. Everything that comes out. Did you see the line of people when the new iPhone came out? How people stand 7 hours to get it? I say to myself, what's going on in this world? A person has iPhone 5 or whatever the number is, and now they came with something that has a little bit, maybe another feature. Maybe the screen is 1 centimeter longer. Wow, the Mashiach is on the way. Why? The phone is a little bit bigger. 7 hours? When Mashiach would come, they won't stand 7 hours online to see him. If they announce the Mashiach is in Israel, Moshe, let's get tickets. The Mashiach is already in Yerushalayim. I'm busy now. I'm in the middle of a meeting. But for the iPhone, he stood 7 hours. And then he said, Rabbi, I'm very religious. You understand what I'm talking about? I know I'm choosing things that are a little bit extreme, but that's 100% reality. It's like Hashem say to you, you have to decide, you're with me or you're against me. There's really no in between. Some people say, well, just the fact that I'm so in sport and I love it and I watch it and I go to games, that's a sign that I don't love Hashem? Not necessarily. It could be that you also love Hashem and you pray to Hashem and you learn and you give tzedakah. You do a lot of nice things. But it's the fact that you love someone just as much as you love Hashem, that's already a crime. Remember what I just said. If you come to your wife and say, well, I really love you, but I also love her just as much. She said, what? Say, yeah. Well, what's the problem? I didn't say I don't love you. I love her just as much. What happened to the marriage? Said, now do me a favor, get me the gas first thing in the morning. Why? It can't be. It's a bind. What is going on here? So the point here in life, there's a famous story in the Holocaust that one woman had only one kid. And the Nazis were around, and she knew soon they're going to kill me, and this kid will stay alone. And they're going to give him to an orphanage home, Christian, and they're going to make him some kind of an idol worshiper. What's better? That he's going to stay alive and become a Christian? Or better, he'll die with me, at least he goes with me to heaven. So she came to the Nazi, on purpose she got him angry, to kill the kid. And he did kill him. And what happened in the end? She realized better he'll die righteous and go to heaven and done with his world and become an idol worshiper and would lose his eternity, this kid. And what happened in the end? That's what happened. She realized better my kid will die in front of her eyes. How many women would do such thing? Only a woman that is in a very high spiritual level would be able. It's a man, it's a different story. He loves his kids as much, but he doesn't react based on his heart. He's usually all head. But women, it's 99.9% heart. It's all about the heart. So you tell a woman to give her kid to this monster, it's unheard of. But she forced herself to know that it's for his own good. So if I really love him, I rather do it now, because otherwise he loses heaven. He loses Olam Haba. What's better? He's going to stay here, some kind of a priest. Do you know that after the Holocaust, Rabbi Horowitz, Ashkenazi rabbi, he wanted to go to France. He heard there's an orphanage home full of Jewish kids that their parents gave. They put them over there, and they adopted them, and that's how their life got saved. He said, wow, there's a lot of Jewish kids over there. We have to go save them. It's our obligation. But he doesn't speak French, only Yiddish. So he took Rabbi Toledano, the Moroccan big giant Chacham from Morocco that speaks French. They went to that church, big church, covered, surrounded with walls. They knock on those big doors, boom, boom, boom. One nun opened the door. She see two rabbis. She got, what's going on here? It's not a shul here. So they told her, we need to speak to the man in charge. He came, and he said to him, we came to pick up all the kids that you were guarding from before the Holocaust. So he said to him, do you think I know which one is Jewish? They were all babies, and I'm here in charge. There was someone before me here. I don't even know myself who's Jewish and who's not. How would you know? If you tell me, we'll check who's circumcised and who's not. Most of the non-Jewish also circumcised. They circumcised them in hospital. So what are you going to tell me now? So he said to him, give us 5 minutes. We don't check anything. We're just going to say something and that's it. The priest was curious. What's going to be now? They came inside. The Ashkenazi rabbi started to say Shema Israel with crying in a Yiddish accent. The way they heard it when they were kids, when their mother used to say Shema for them every night before they go to sleep. As soon as he says Shema Israel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, half of the kids over there started to scream, Mommy, Mommy. They all ran and started to hold him. The priest said, take them quick and run before they find out. The priest at least was honest, righteous, what do you want to call him, I don't know what, that he let them go. He could have said, I'm sorry, we raised them, that's it. Who are you? Show me that you own them. Show me that you have connection to them. He can play games. But he touched his heart. He saw how the kids were able to recognize the Shema Israel, let them go. So the point is that I'm making so far is, the religion is not as hard as people think. Not at all. However, I agree that it's a tremendous change from your old lifestyle. It's a big difference in almost every field of your life. You eat different, you talk different, you dress different, you work, sometimes you have to quit your job and move to a kosher job. If you cut hair of women all day models by you, not models laying like this, and you have to touch them and this. It's not a kosher job for a man that wants to be religious. So you have to sometimes sacrifice. You sell idols to the Chinese. Now you have to quit that. You cannot sell idols. Your business is booming on Shabbat. You cannot open it anymore on Shabbat. So you have to find yourself another source of parnassa. There are sacrifices to be made. It's not a doubt about it. It's 100%. Some has to sacrifice more. Some has to sacrifice less. Depend. Some people, anyway, they don't work on Shabbat. They work in an office. Shabbat is a day off. So for them, it's no big deal to quit working on Shabbat because they're not working anyway. Another person, his business is the biggest day of the week. It's Shabbat weekend. All the goyim come. Everybody buys from him. All of a sudden, he has to close the store. It's a big test. But one thing I want to tell you. The religion is difficult only 3 months. 3 months. That's it. After 3 months, some people maybe a week more or a week less. Average 3 months. I'm talking from 20 years experience. Once you make it the first 3 months, after that it becomes easier every day. Easier and easier. Why? Because we have a rule in life. Every change is difficult for the people, even from bad to good. Do you know that how many people in America were 20 years in prison, and when they came out of prison, they were shocked. They didn't want to live outside free, and they did something to go back to the prison? Do you know how many thousands of people? Do you know how many Israeli soldiers, the day they joined the army with tears and they're going crazy that they have to be in this jail for 3 years? And at the day that they left the army, they were also crying and they were begging the army, sign me up for $1,000 a month. I'll be your servant here. Just let me stay in the army. Please extend my service. $1,000 a month salary, 4,000 shekel. I'll clean bathroom, I'll cook for the soldier, whatever you want. Don't let me go home. You've done your 3 years. No, please sign me up. It's called tzva keva. Half of the army, it's people like that. What do you think? Everyone is between 18 to 21? All the generals, all the people in charge are older people. They are 20 years in the army already, 30 years even. Some of them already no hair or all white hair. And they run the show. How are they in the army for so long? They sign for peanut. Maybe in America you get a fat salary. If you're a general or in the American army, they probably pay you very good money and lots of benefits. But in Israel, it's $1,000 a month. Later, you make maybe 2 or 3, and if you're head of the whole army, maybe you make $10,000 a month. The chief of the whole army, that's it. It's not going any far. Judges in a court, how much you think they make? Maximum $10,000 a month. The biggest judge, maximum. It's different world. A doctor in Israel, doctor in a hospital. Why do you think all the Israeli doctors come to New York? They leave everything and they come to New York. Because in Israel you will make $2,000 a month in a hospital, And in America, he make $100,000 a month for the same job. 2,000, 100,000. Gynecologist, deliver babies. How much he makes in Israel? Calling him 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 in the morning, on a call all the time. Shabbat, middle of Leila Seder. He has to go deliver a baby. Here, he sends $7,000 for the delivery, epidural another $1,500, the nurse this, $20,000 to give birth. What's an Israeli gets? Nothing. Salary. Nothing. That's why they all leave Israel. But now it becomes like this in America, thanks to Obama. Obama changed the whole... It's actually started before him. The insurance company killed the business. Doesn't pay to be a doctor anymore. Many of the I have a friend, his wife, she's a doctor for kids. He told me, do you see this shot? I said, it cost my wife $78. Do you know how much the insurance pay her for that? $79. She makes an appointment. She has to give it to the kid. It takes about 15, 20 minutes, the whole thing, until he comes, takes his clothes, she checks him before she gives him the shot. She makes $1. I say, so why she takes such customers? She lose money. He said, what are you going to tell them? We're not going to give you the shot because we're not getting paid enough from your insurance. They're going to leave you and go to a different doctor. You have no choice. Some you make more, some you make less. Many of the things we used to make money, they cut. They don't make. Sometimes it costs us more. When he comes, we lose money. It's a punishment that the patient comes. Why? I have to pay more than what I make. And sometimes they deny the claim. There's all kinds of problems. Bottom line, the paradise days of the doctor in America are about to be over. Unless if you top doctor, people without insurance, they will pay you. They don't have a choice. But if you're just another ordinary doctor, one of many thousands, you're basically bankrupt. No parnasa anymore. Taxi driver makes more. That's it. That's America. But it used to be not like that. It used to be that I make fortune. So the point is like this. Every change in life is difficult. I give you an example. Take a lawyer. After a few years he works in a firm, finally he makes $100,000 a year. In New York. He's not the owner. He works for another lawyer. One firm heard about him that is very good. They're offering him a job, $300,000 a year. Do you know one lawyer who would not quit and move? Most of the time, 300 to 100, it's a big difference. Right away, he goes and takes the contract. When he moved to the new office, it's only a few blocks away in Manhattan. He's here, he's there, a mile away. They're all more or less in Midtown over there. So he moved to a new firm. Now it's different subway. He has to learn. It's a little bit further. He has to go 2 more blocks in the cold weather. He comes. The girl that used to make his coffee, she's not as talented, the new one. She doesn't make it the way he like. The boss is not smiling like the old one, but it's $300,000. Big deal. I live with this sour face. What's the big deal? What do I care? It has to be my brother? No. Even to upgrade for a much better job, it's painful in the beginning. Because to change from what you used to, it's always hard. Even you're a professional, best basketball player in the world. One team pay you, $5 million a year. The other team offer you $15 million a year. Big difference. Now you have to take your stuff, take your children out of school. You move to a new location. You have to rent a place. You have to go around to check the place if you like it. There's a lot of aggravation, but it's $10 more million in your pocket. Do you know one player that refused to the offer because he has to spend a few hours on going to check for apartments and to give his car back to the lease and take a different one in a different state, or that he has to make some changes, or now it's a different coach, so he has to get to know him, and there's some changes in the locker room. Does he care about all this? He doesn't care. Why? But it's hard to get used. But nobody cares. Why? Because I see the profit in my hand. What is it like? I'll give you an example. One person, Reuven asked from his friend Shimon to do him a favor. He said, there's a bag full of diamonds. I want you to climb all the way in a mountain in 110 degrees in the middle of the desert. Go all the way to the mountain. My friend Yosef is waiting over there. I need you to do me a favor. Please don't say no. Please, please, please. I need your help. Give him the bag. Give him the bag of the diamonds. This Shimon is a nice guy. He doesn't know how to say no. So he volunteered for the job. After 5 minutes that he climbed on a mountain with such a heavy bag on his head, it's dripping sweat. His back begins to hurt. He looks on the mountain. Well, by the time I get there, I'll be 70 years old. What's going to be now? Why am I such a fool? He hates himself. Why I said yes? I'm stuck now with this. Now, this guy, Reuven, that sent him on a mission, he's watching him all alone, like this. And he see how every minute he gets more frustrated. Until after 10 minutes of walk, he throws the bag on the floor, he sits on a rock, he throws stones like this. He goes crazy. His wife found the perfect timing to call him. Itzik, what's his name? Shimon, what's your name? I already forgot his name, 2 minutes. Shimon, how are you? Oh, no, not you again. How many times a day you call me? I told you enough. Don't call! He begins to scream like Meshuga. He hung up the phone. She said, wow, who knows what happened? I mean, I'm used to his attitude, but like that? Top, after this guy said, hey, before he's going to get divorced, I better give him a call. So Reuven called him up. He said, Shimon, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you something. What? I was watching him all like this. Watching him. I forgot to tell you something. By the time you get to the top of the mountain, my friend Yosef over there, he's going to take 3 diamonds from the bag of hundreds of diamonds, and he gives you the rest as your reward for your efforts and for doing the job. I forgot. Forgive me. I'm sorry. Goodbye. And he hung up the phone, and he's watching him. What happened in a second after he hung up? He gets up from the rock. He begins to jump, scream, like this, that. All of a sudden, the bag, it's like a feather. No weight. Go up and down, singing in a desert. He goes up to the mountain. The sweat, it's like cold shower for him. No suffering. No back pain, happiness. Every step, I made another million. I made another million. Now his wife called again. Shimon, I'm sorry, there's an emergency. What happened, honey? Why you have to apologize? All of a sudden, Rabbi Akiva he became. What changed in the mind of a person? Only one thing. The heat, the same heat. The weight, the same weight. Everything is exactly the same. One thing in his mind changed. He realized, I'm not working for free. That's all. I'm making money. I'm making money. Once I make money, I don't care about how difficult. Pay me a lot more, I work a lot harder, no problem. What's the problem? I remember when I was a kid, I have an uncle, he just passed away a month ago. Walked in the street, sat on a bench, fell on the floor, and passed away. He's 79 years old, he was. And looks very good shape. When I was in Israel a month ago, I knew that I may see him for the last time, because, you know, he has an on and off heart condition over the years. I gave him a very long hug before I left, and in my mind I say, it's probably the last time I ever hug you in my life. And a week or 2 after I left, he passed away. But this person used to own a very big pizza, one of the best delicious pizza in the world, not in Israel. People from all over the world come to eat by him. That's how good is his pizza in Afula, in Israel. Rimini Pizza, center of Afula. If you ever go to the north, you must stop there and you remember my words. They have the best pizza. Even in Italy, people that went to special places, they say it's not coming near your quality. They are more than 35 years in business already. All the famous people eat there, all the movie stars that comes to Israel, they take them special to that place. He became very successful from this place. So when I was a kid, like this age, we used to go there on a Chol HaMoed, you know. We have off from school. I used to go with my parents. We used to go eat there. And you know, they have Arab workers. The Arabs, they clean, they prepare. Later, the Russians came, so the Russian came. So I saw my uncle, which was back then already a very wealthy man. Back then, he was already very wealthy. Compared to Israel, nothing to compare. So I saw him, you know, scraping the dough that stuck from the last scraping, putting oil. Him and Mustafa works together. But he's worth millions of dollars, and this Mustafa came from the village with his donkey. I'm talking to you 30 years ago. That's how it was. The Arabs used to have kafiyot, and they used to come on donkeys. That's how I remember as a kid, I saw one Arab, 75 years old. I started to run, crying. I lost the house. Why? I saw an Arab on the street. They walked like this. They used to be with the kafiyot, the Arabs. Now they're more modern in Israel. You don't see this anymore. So I asked my father, but if he's the boss, why he works like the Arab worker? So my father told me, as a kid, he told me, because he see the cash register getting full more and more and more, it gives him koach. My father used to say. He say, when you are Mustafa, you curse every brush that you make. What life I have. Two of them works the same job. One is whistling and all day smiling to the customers, and the other one, when can I take the knife and stick it in his back already for making me do this? But he does the same thing. But he get the millions. Do you understand the difference? This is what religion is all about. David HaMelech already wrote about it in Tehillim. Who knows where? Where does it say in Tehillim that it's not a problem to do for the reward? It's better to do l'shem shamayim, for the sake of heaven. No calculation, Hashem. Why am I keeping your laws? Because you said so. Finished. Reward, not reward, punishment, no punishment. That's already another thing to worry about. First, because Hashem said so. That's the highest level. We're not exactly in this level. Let's face it. Most of us, we do out of fear. Or even if we do out of love, but we still think, oh, I'm getting a huge reward for that. Hashem will pay my reward. It's always in the back of the mind. You volunteer to do something. You volunteer to wash the shul. You volunteer to save. You volunteer, I don't know, all kinds of things. In the back of your mind, you always think, I know they're not paying me. I know I volunteer. I know I break my back here. But I know Hashem is watching and He's going to give me the reward. But what happened if the rabbi would sign you up on a note? He said, I want you to wash the shul every week, before Shabbat and after Shabbat. Replace all the tissue boxes, clean the bathroom, clean the kitchen, everything. But I want you to sign here that the reward of this mitzvah come to me, not to you. How many people would still want to wash the shul for no reward? He already signed that the reward that Hashem is supposed to give you in Olam Haba for volunteering and cleaning goes to his account, not to you. You signed on it with a handshake. You donate the reward to me, he said. Not only you clean for him, for the shul, the reward in Shamayim also goes to him. So the question is, how many people then would enjoy to clean the shul and the bathroom? Maybe there are some. That's a proof that in the back of the mind, even a person that always brag, I'm doing for the sake of heaven, yes, but you also do for the sake of your stomach. Right? Because you want reward. So David HaMelech wrote, David HaMelech is one of the biggest legends in history. And Hashem put a stamp on him, that he is a holy neshama. Shamarti Toratecha, I observe your Torah, ala sachar, asher tzafanta lireecha. Why do I keep my mitzvot? One of the reasons, it wasn't the only reason, obviously. One of the reasons that I keep your laws, for the huge reward you put aside for those who follow you, those who fear you. Because of those this huge reward, it gives me more strength to keep the mitzvot. So we see it's a complete natural reaction. You pay me a lot, I have much more energy to work. You pay me little, I have less energy. When I moved to my house 11 years ago, I moved from an apartment to a private home. So the Jewish guy is the owner of the moving company, and he has few amigos working for him. So the amigos, when they showed up with a big truck to start packing my furniture, I say to myself, I have two ways to motivate them. I say to myself, usually people give them the tip when the job is done. Right? After they work 13, 15 hours, they kill themselves, you come, you give them the tip. But they, the entire 15 hours, they have only one thing bothers them in their mind. This is hard-working people. They make $100 a day salary. They want to know if the tip will be $10 in the end of the day to each one, or 50. It's a big difference for them, 10 or 50. So all day, he say, why should I kill myself? Maybe this cheap Jew will give me only $10. So he's working, he's afraid not to work at all, but he doesn't want to kill himself because he's not sure. It's gambling here. You don't know what you're going to get. I say, I already get into their mind. I know what's in their mind. First minute of the job, I say, amigos, please, por favor. Okay, I said to them, you see, I got them a big case of beer. Say, muchas cervezas. So, oh, bueno, bueno. Okay, I say, each one of you, before the job starts, I say, 50, 50, 50, 50. Do a good job. Si, senor, si, senor. You should have seen how they worked. Like tigers. When we finally got to the house, it was after hours of packing and bringing it to the truck. What a job. They got to the job. Now it's a second floor. It's a private house. So my wife is outside. I'm inside the house. They come with a very big dresser all the way. Say, where? I look at that and I say, upstairs. They go on the stairs. They got all the way to the top. My wife comes in. No, that goes to the other room. No problema, senora. Turn around, no attitude, no nothing. I said that's the smartest thing I ever did. Most of the other people in the end, they also give the same tip. It's not that I had to give them more. The question is when. That's the difference between Baal Tshuva that understand that he's not working for free to someone that think in his mind, maybe I'm doing all of that for free. The reward is a huge motivation. Regardless if you agree to admit or not, it's a huge motivation. Look at the children. You give them ice cream if they daven good. Look how they are. Abba, I'm davening good every 2 minutes. I'm good? Like this. Why? Give them ice cream in the end, $2. Worth it for you. The whole Shabbat, he sits, it doesn't move. The Rambam say, you have to give them candies. It's kids, they don't understand now. Shamayim, my tefillah, what does he do? They understand chocolate in their mouth in 2 hours. Right away they become, each one of them, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. You don't give them the ice cream, they'll show you what's going on here. Every moment they move, they get up. I told you to sit. 2 minutes later, he's outside again. But when the ice cream, he understands. The ice cream, you sure? Ice cream, if I'll daven good? Right away, blah, blah, blah. מתוך שלא לשמה, בא לשמה, he gets used to it. Eventually, this is the way we are. Remember, the beginning, it's 3 months. It's not so comfortable because it's hard to change. It takes time to digest, to adjust yourself to the new system. It takes time. Once you're in it, you get used to the shul, the new people, the rabbi. You find someone to learn with. You begin to know him. Everything in your life, slowly, you're becoming used to it. Girls that used to dress very not modest, she begins to dress modest now. In the beginning, it kills her. Every day when she puts the thing, she says, maybe today I'll take it off. No, but now I know the truth already. I went to the seminar. I heard the lecture about modesty. I can't go like this in the street anymore. So she sits in her house an hour with the Nescafe like this in the morning. Maybe only today. Maybe in the end, she goes mad. But it's only in the beginning like that. Eventually, that's it. She gets used to it. She changed her clothes. She's starting to adjust to a new way of life. Shabbat, you get used to one thing. Slowly, slowly, you get used to the new thing. Bottom line, everything in life, you get used to it, even if it's very painful and bitter and horrible. Very bad. Why? How can a person wants to go back to jail? After 20 years, he got used to it. He likes it over there. He feels good. They give him respect. He's already 20 years over there. What am I going to do here? To start everything from nothing? Same thing, I gave you an example with the army. Bottom line, to change habits is not easy. But again, even that you see that your life is greater already, it's still difficult. But eventually, ergel naasa leteva. Now I'm going to tell you something that you may never heard before. Many people say, Rabbi, I agree. I agree about the reward. I agree about everything you say. But you know, it's difficult. Even the beginning, you're right, 3 months, but it's very difficult. In the beginning, some mitzvot I don't mind doing. But some mitzvot is very difficult for me. Rabbi, I'm already keeping Shabbat, but I live in Miami by the beach. It's very hard for me not to go to the pool, not to go to the beach, even though, you know, Rabbi, but there's a lot of old ladies over there. I don't go for the ladies to the pool. I want to just be in the pool, you know. It's very difficult for him if he goes every day to the beach, one day to give it up, because it's a very strong desire to go there. So now the person say, okay, Shabbat, I like it, I'm going to keep. Kosher, I don't mind. Every place you have kosher food, no problem. Continue. He begins to tefillin, 2 minutes a day, Shema Israel, I agree. But to go with a yarmulke on the street, no, Rabbi, it's too much for me. I work with goyim, I can't do it. Maybe I put baseball hat, maybe I don't put anything. Tzitzit, I don't mind because it's under the clothes, nobody sees. But kippah, to walk here in Miami with kippah, it's not for me, Rabbi. I put the kippah in my pocket. When I eat, in my car, I put it, I do Birkat Hamazon, but I cannot walk with a kippah in my head. It's difficult for him to make this adjustment. But let me tell you something that you didn't know, in case you didn't know. The Torah say the opposite of what we think. The opposite. We think, if I love this mitzvah, I'm going to do it and I'm going to be very good at it. If I don't love it, I'm not interested to do it. It's not attracting. It's not appealing to me. I don't like it. I cannot find myself connected. I remember myself, first time I held a lulav in my hand in Manhattan. I lived in Lower East Side in Manhattan. I'm in one of the fanciest cities in the world. I have to stand by the sukkah on the street, all these goyim passing by, and I have to stand with lulav and a trog and go like that. I say to myself, wow, what a bushot now. I'm crazy. I go like this, and all of them come, you know, they see me like this, and the tefillin and the head, chol hamoed. I can't forget that feeling that day. Or sometimes you pray in the airport, everybody comes, look at you like this, especially the black from Africa. When they see that, they think it's somebody invented a new avodah zarah in Africa. Because, you know, they have all kinds of tribes over there. One time I was hiding behind a restaurant. There was a counter. I said, oh, finally I found a quiet place. 10 minutes later, somebody from the Zulu tribe came. He looked at me like this. The whole hour, he sits like this and looks at me. I'm trying to turn around. He goes like this. By the time I finished, he said, you have to tell me what you were doing. 1 hour he was waiting for me to show him that I want to talk to him. Bottom line, there's things that you say, I'm not connected to it. It's embarrassing. I don't see myself doing it. I am the president of this big company. You want to tell me that I have to do this mitzvah? It's not for me. I can't connect. But the Torah says something amazing. The Torah says, "Acharei ha'pe'ulot nimshachim ha'levavot." We think, if my heart desires this mitzvah, I'm going to do it. If my heart doesn't desire it, I can't do it. The Torah said the opposite. the Torah say, you force yourself to do it, it's just a matter of time until you love it. Guarantee. No matter what mitzvah it is. You hate it, you cannot see yourself doing it, it looks strange to you right now, you don't see how I'm going to be able to do such thing. It's busha, let me do something else. No, no, no. You begin to force yourself to do it every day. Do it, do it, do it. You see after 3-4 months, you're in love with that. I always give this example when I was in the army. I was in a very, very special place, unit. What's special about it? It's called Tayeset. Tayeset Krav, where the F-16 are under the ground somewhere in the middle of nowhere, in the desert, under the ground. It's a place that in case there is an attack on Israel, basically the safety of the whole country is in my hand and about 10, 11 soldiers. We are what we call bekonenut. We're not allowed to take our shoes off. We have to sleep with our clothes. In our room, there is a huge siren. Inside the room, the siren works. If in the middle of the night you sleep, imagine now siren. Do you know how loud is this siren? You're deaf already for half a day if it goes on. That's how loud it is, that there's no way that somebody will not jump from his sleep. No way. It's like a machine gun. And as soon as you hear the siren, 2 o'clock, and sometimes they do exercises. They don't tell you. They want to see how quick you react. Middle of the night, boom, siren goes on. You dressed already with shoes. You're ready to go. You jump, there's a pole, like the firefighters. You jump on a pole, you slide all the way down from the window. There's a big window, 3 steps. You jump, you go all the way down. Each one in the middle of the sleep. Each one of us has his own airplane, F-16, there's few of them. The weapon is ready, everything is ready, but you have to take out the safety pin. The safety pin that the missile will not shoot by itself from static electric. So within maybe half a minute, from the minute the siren goes off, the pilot already arrived with the jeep, climbing right away. One of us put the helmet in his head, connect the oxygen. He's putting all the things in a computer quickly. Everyone knows his job by heart. Mamash, in the middle of the night. Tak, 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 like a machine. Boom, the airplane goes. He gives the gas. He makes you fly all the way to the wall because it's hot air come to your face. And that's how it goes. Now, because I was in this place, I cannot go to the kitchen. The base has kitchen for the other soldiers. But we cannot leave the place, ever. We are 2 days on konenut, 2 days off. 2 days on, 2 days off. But when the 2 days off, you can do whatever you want. You can even go home. But the 2 days that you're there, you cannot take your shoes off. You cannot do certain things. This is the way it is. Because you are there, they have your own kitchen over there. You have to make yourself the food. They give us fruit, vegetables, and we have to cook. What the Israeli army loves so much, there are 2 food that they're in love with. One's called loof. You heard about loof or no? Who went to the army here? Huh? You know what loof is, right? It's basically like you take a rat, cut it 2 pieces, cook it, put it in a can, like tuna can. 5 years later, open it and tell the soldier to eat. That's usually how it smells. As soon as you open the can, everyone faints. That's what they give. You cannot get, because you have to get it in cans. And the second thing is, they love eggplants. Boxes of eggplants. Now, the loof, everyone hates. But eggplant, some soldiers love it. But I couldn't even look at that. Why? And I was a kid, I had a trauma. Why? When my mother used to burn them on a fire, it looks like boogies. You know? You know how they have all these strings inside? I couldn't look at that. So every day, eggplants. Today, what's for food? Eggplants. No, everyone eat, enjoy. These Moroccans, they make eggplant like this, eggplant like that. And I look at that and I want to vomit. So I don't have what to eat. I eat jelly with, I'm tired of this already. So what happened? One day there was really nothing to eat anymore. I said, okay, let me eat from this eggplant. I closed my nose. I like this. Couldn't stand it. I was starving. What can I do? I eat it. I try to put some bread, not to suffer so much. Today, what is my most favorite food? Eggplants. Every Shabbat, at least 6 different eggplants. Fry like this, baba ganoush, this style, that style, Bukharian style, everything you want. Why? Once you begin, do you know, if you take a Moroccan person that never ate gefilte fish, and you tell them here, Mr. Ohayon, gefilte fish, what's happened to this Moroccan? Faint immediately. As soon as you see the gefilte. But you know how many Moroccans I know that they lick their fingers today with the gefilte fish? Why? Because they got married to Ashkenazim. So all she knew is to make gefilte fish, and he didn't want to insult his wife, and he started to eat, and today it became his most favorite food. A bottom line, what I'm saying to you is like this. You don't do the mitzvah because you love it, or you love it more, or you love it less. No, 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 no. You do it because it's an obligation to do it. Once I'm going to force myself to do it, I know Hashem promised me, it's just a matter of time until I love it. It's always been like that. It will always be like that. Now, in case you don't believe me, I'm going to give you an example. It's not a good example. In other words, it's a little bit nasty, but it makes the point very clear. And I'm going to try to keep it clean because there are kids here. But try to use your head to understand. There's many people who are married. They used to love women. One day they get married, and then they get caught doing something, and they go to jail for 20 years. And in jail, they don't have their wives, they don't have their girlfriends. You know, jail is jail. When they are in jail, they change to the other kind. So you may say, how can a person do such a thing? Well, just to think about it, I want to faint. So they don't have anybody there. It's Yetzer Hara. They begin to do this. But the question is, okay, in jail, I understand they're there, so they do horrible things. But why, when they come out of jail, they stay like that? Now they came out, they're free to go back to the old days. You know, he can find himself a woman and get married. He's not interested anymore. He's interested in doing the other things. How can it be? The answer is, even the dirtiest, ugliest, worst imaginable things in life, a person that begins to do these dirty things eventually begin to love it. Begin to love it. Doesn't matter to men, to women, animals, garbage, whatever you want. Once a person begins to do it, the mind of a person adjusts to it. This is a law in nature. If it works for the dirtiest thing on earth, it's needless to say it works for the things that Hashem says it's mitzvah to do. That's the key to be a successful Jew. Same thing, women live here in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, all this place, such humidity, so hard to be modest, very hard. Everything in the end, you get used to it, everything. You get used to everything. In the beginning, it's hard, you suffer, eventually it's a way of life. And the reward is huge, because we have a rule in the Torah. Lefum tzara agra. According to the effort, that's how the reward would be. Yafa sha'a achat betza'ar mimea shelo betza'ar. 1 hour with agony, with efforts, with pain, equal to 100 hours without the pain. You know what's going on here or no? If a person learns Torah, beautiful air conditioning in his face, nice room, no suffering, no heat, no sweating, his shirt doesn't stick to his back, everything is beautiful. They even allow him to smoke his favorite cigarette inside. So mamash, give him cream cake, coffee, Turkish coffee. What do you want, sir? Espresso? How do you like your coffee? Beautiful. He sits on a beautiful leather couch like this, leather chair. Someone even give him massage on his soldiers, smoking his pipe, and he say, Amar Rashi, this, Rabbi say like this, Rava say like this. Enjoy, beautiful life. It's limud Torah. After all, he learns Torah. His friend is in a humidity right here, sitting over here in one of the shuls. The air condition is broken. He can't breathe. Nobody gives him massage. The chair is crooked. The chair is painful. The person that he learns with is so annoying. Everything went wrong today. And he also learned. He gets 100 hours of learning, and he got only 1 hour of learning. Do you understand the difference here or no? It's Gemara. 1 hour with pain and effort is like 100 without. And we somehow always want to run to the easy. Why? You see, when you work in a restaurant, you're going to get $10 an hour no matter what. You kill yourself, you do nothing, $10 an hour. No motivation. Why should I kill myself? Anyway, he doesn't appreciate it. At the end of the day, I killed myself, I served 300 customers, he still give me the same $100. There's no motivation. But by the Torah, it's not like that. The Torah, every drop of sweat that fell from you extra, the reward is much higher. And you want to see the proof? I tell you the proof. There's hundreds of proofs, of course, but I'll give you one from the top of my head. A thief that just went and stole a cow. And a thief that stole a sheep. He went, slaughtered it, make himself steak. The police showed up. Back in the days of Bet HaMikdash. Oh, 2 witnesses told us, oh, now we see that you stole this cow and you're making shish kebab. Very nice. What do you have to pay? How much you have to pay to the owner for the cow? How much you have to pay the owner for the sheep that you stole? How many times more? Let's say a sheep costs $300, a cow costs $2,000. Now you have a penalty. If you stole and you slaughter, you have to pay 4 times more or 5 times more. If you only stole and you didn't slaughter it, you have to pay double. The question is, if you stole and already slaughtered it, now you have to pay 5 times or 4 times. Which one of the two you have to pay 5 times? Which one of the two you have to pay 4 times? For the cow that you stole, you have to pay 5 times more. For the sheep, you have to pay 4 times more. The Torah asks, why? If the rule is, when I steal, I have to pay double. If I slaughter, I have to pay 4 times more, or 5 times more, or 10 times more. Doesn't matter. But that's the rule. What difference does it make if I stole a cow or a sheep? The concept stays the same. I stole something, I slaughter it, I pay 4 times more, or 5 times more. Why with this animal is like this, and with this animal is like that? The answer, the Torah say, when you steal a sheep, you don't steal it the same way you steal a cow. When you steal a cow, there is no shame. You put a leash on the neck of the cow and you begin to walk in the street. Nobody knows you're a thief. The cow walks with you. You pull it. But when you steal the sheep, you pick up the 2 legs and 2 legs. There's no time to start walking with the sheep until it moves. You pick it up on your shoulders and you run like this. And you sweat from the fear. So because while you're stealing, you suffer another 10 minutes or 20 minutes, Hashem gave you a discount on your punishment. You believe such a thing? Who cares about this thief? What do I care if he sweat or not? If when you steal, you put more effort, you get less punishment, based on the effort, how difficult was the stealing, you understand that it's needless to say that when you do a mitzvah, right? End of story. This is a solid proof. If by doing negative, Hashem calculate the sweat, when I clean the shul, when I volunteer to take boxes to the poor people and give it to them for Shabbat, and I give my back and sweating and running and doing, of course, the more I kill myself, the much bigger mitzvah. And the reward is all for the next world to come. I want to ask you a question. Some of the mitzvot we get rewarded here in this world. But we have a rule. All the reward of the mitzvot, the general reward, the main reward, is all for the next world. But there are few mitzvot that Hashem throw us few crumbs from the cookie already in this world. Here, take a crumb, enjoy. Take some a little bit here. What are they? The Mishnah says, 1, Make peace between two friends. Your friends had a fight, you make peace between them. Hashem say, I'm going to give you some wealth. You make peace between husband and wife. That's only if they keep Taharat Mishpacha. If she goes to the mikveh and they keep Taharat Mishpacha, you're allowed to make peace between them. If not, you're not allowed to make peace between them. Because now you're going to get them back together. Tonight they're going to make another sin of Isur Karet. It's a horrible sin. You are the broker of the sin. Only when they keep Taharat Mishpacha, it's mitzvah to make peace between them. What if they don't keep Shabbat? Let's say they keep mikveh, but they don't keep Shabbat, and they had a fight and she went to her parents. Is it a mitzvah to put them back together or no? What do you think? No. The answer, yes. Why? Even though Mechalel Shabbat is a horrible, huge crime, horrible, with a horrible, huge punishment, but they can violate Shabbat, each one on his own where they are. They don't need each other to violate Shabbat. Whether they together, whether they alone, they still violate Shabbat. I'm not the reason that they violate Shabbat. If I put them together, they do the same like they did without me. So the situation will not become worse in the eyes of Hashem. That's why I don't have any punishment. But if with one without the other, they cannot make a sin. They need each other to have relation. And when they do the relation, they have a very big sin, which is Taharat Mishpacha, Nida. So because I got them together, I'm the reason why, I'm a part of the reason why they made the sin. The Chazon Ish, there was one person in jail in Israel. That was more than 60 years ago. And they started to collect money to release him from jail because it's a very big mitzvah to release a Jew from prison. If a Jew is captured by the Goyim or by the Arabs or by the prison and there's a way to release him from there, I'm not talking criminal jail. Criminal jail, keep him there for the rest of his life if he's a murderer. Who needs him on the street? He's going to kill us. If he's a rapist, keep him over there. Of course, don't release him. We're not talking this kind of prisoners that were judged based on their crimes. We're talking innocent people that the Goyim capture. They put them in jail, they want ransom. They want money. And we can save their life by saving them. We are allowed to sell a Sefer Torah to release them. Even if it's the only Sefer Torah in a shul. We will stay without Sefer Torah. Even if it's the only Sefer Torah in the whole town, that all the shul use it. It goes from shul to shul. We are not going to have Sefer Torah to save the life of this Jew from the hand of the Hamas or whatever it is. Hashem says, sell the Sefer Torah, save the life. Pikuach nefesh. So it's such a big mitzvah, Pidyon Shvuim, it's a huge mitzvah. But when this secular Jew went to the British, put him in jail, the British used to catch people that were activists to get to free Israel from the hand of the British. So they put him in prison. So they came to the Chazon Ish. They say, Rabbi, should we collect money and go release him? We can bribe them to get them out. He asked, is he keeping Taharat Mishpacha? They say, no, he's secular. Communist. They say, keep him in jail forever, for his own good. Not a punishment. Not that I hate him. Not that I wish him bad. Not that I want him to suffer because he's a sinner. No. No, don't think that way. Because I love him. I want him to stay in jail. Because if he comes out of jail, he's going to go back and make sins with his wife tonight. And the punishment in the next world is so huge for that, when she's not pure after the mikveh, why do I want to do it to him? Better he stay over there and lay there alone than to go and make one more time a sin. But tomorrow they'll release him anyway. Let's say next month they'll release him. They won't keep him there forever, the British. The British is not ISIS, with all due respect. So eventually they let him go. But 1 month I prevented him from making sin. Maybe it's 10 times, 15 times. It's 15 extra karet for him and for her. I already did a big thing. I saved them from a lot of suffering. But of course, they don't look at that way. What kind of rabbi is this? He told you to keep me in jail? And he doesn't understand that it's for his own good. But that's the way the world is. I want to tell you a story. It's been a long time since I told you a story. There was one very poor man in Yerushalayim 40 years ago. His name Rabbi Chaim Todros, from a Spain background. Ashkenazi, he was Ashkenazi, but the name points towards Spain. This Rabbi Chaim Todros was a very, very big tzaddik, very, very poor clothes, but a huge tzaddik with 100% faith in Hashem. Now, before I tell you the story, I know some of you will be very difficult for them to believe that story. I want to tell you that half of the stories who comes to me, I screen. I don't say it. Why? Because there is a doubt that the details were not confirmed. The story is not 100% reliable. This was said by one of the most important rabbis in Yerushalayim, because he was a part of the story. And he said it in public, so I can repeat that story to you. This Rav Chaim Todros, we have a rule in the Torah. Hashem said to the Jews, Yan ki lo e'emantem bi lakdisheni. Because you didn't believe in me, Hashem say to Moshe and Aaron, that I told you to talk to the rock and you hit the rock. Because you didn't believe in me, you will not enter to the land. After you served the nation for 40 years, because you didn't believe in me. What do you mean I didn't believe in you? Of course I believed in you. You believed in me not enough according to your level. Somebody else's different story. I promise you, if one of us would hit the rock, instead of talking to the rock, Hashem would not consider it as a sin at all. When we die one day, He won't even mention it in our trial. Why? He understands who He's dealing with. Why you hit the rock instead of talking to the rock? I gave you a specific order. Talk to the rock. Don't hit the rock. It's not as big when you hit. I wanted you to talk. No, do you think Hashem would say to us, why did you hit instead of talking? Of course not. Someone like Moshe, that's a very big deal by him. And that's one of the main reasons he didn't enter the land. That's how horrible this punishment was. For the 1 minute Chilul Hashem that they laugh, when water didn't come out right away, they all laughed. Datan and Aviram and all the liberal Jews, the Torah haters, they were making a party. When they saw the chief rabbi is hitting the rock and nothing comes out. You see, we told you it's all a show. But then the next time, explosion of water came out, they all were silent. But 1 minute there was Chilul Hashem, that they laughed at Hashem. And his messenger, Hashem said to Moshe, you're done. You don't enter the land. Look how strict the punishment could be. So now, we have a rule. Hashem doesn't love people that do not trust Him. He doesn't love this pension, this IRA, 401, 4OK, I don't know all these names. People call me all the time with these names. Rabbi, I have this and I have that. How many savings you have? How many kids you have? 1 kid and 2 dogs. So who are you making all these savings for? People are worried. How old are you? 75. So you still worry you're not going to have enough money to live? But this is the way people are. Hashem said to us in the desert, don't leave man for tomorrow. Eat and enjoy today. Tomorrow, trust me, I am obligated to feed you. I'll feed you tomorrow. Don't worry. What some people did, they put money in a jar, it became all worms. Today, when we put money in Citibank, it does not become worms. Why? If Hashem said in the Torah, don't save for tomorrow food. Eat today what I gave you. Which means, every money I give you, spend. Don't worry about the future. When you need it for the future, I will supply you with what you need. Trust me, I'll give you everything you need. You don't trust me? Somebody told me today, I have to make money. I say, come to the yeshiva for 1 month. He said, what do you mean yeshiva? Now I have to make money. I say to him, you have enough time to make money, and by learning Torah, you don't lose money. Don't worry about it. But some people don't understand. They think the more I work, the more I make. Not true. Whatever Hashem wants you to make, that's what you're going to make. If you trust Him a lot, you don't have to work a lot. You don't trust Him a lot, you have to work 3 jobs. And still have to ask money, brother, lend me, I want to borrow, I want to take this, I can't close the month, Rabbi. I work in 3 jobs, I can't pay. Why? You don't trust Hashem. If you really trust Him, not in talking, in actions, you will never have anything that you're missing. Whatever you want, you'll get. So what's going on here? Why Hashem doesn't make our money disappear if we save it? If we hide it under the floor somewhere in a house, he has a safe. Why the next day he comes, the cockroaches didn't eat the dollars? Why? The answer is because we are not in a level of the generation that heard the voice of God. Yesterday you heard my voice, and I told you, don't save for tomorrow. Eat today, and tomorrow I'll take care of you. And you already see every day bread is falling next to your bed. Falling, breakfast come. Eggs and bacon, kosher one. Falls right into your bed. What do you worry about? You don't have to drive 3 hours in traffic in Manhattan to make it to the meeting. It comes right to your home. Why you worry about tomorrow? But it's reality. Some people left for tomorrow and Hashem took it away from them. By us, Hashem doesn't do it to us. Same thing, He doesn't make us the same amount of miracles that He did to them. He doesn't punish us like He used to punish them. It's not as severe because He knows our level is much lower. But in our generation, I met few people that have such high faith in Hashem, and everything in life gets done from them from A to Z. I'm a witness. I see it week after week. Miracle after miracle. Now I want to tell you about this Rabbi Chaim Todros. Rabbi Chaim Todros used to learn with Rabbi that is very big today in Israel. His name is Benayahu Shmueli, one of the big Mekubalim. They used to be 20 in the 20s, back in the day in Yerushalayim. We're talking about 40, 50 years ago, something like that. One day, some religious people in Yerushalayim lay on the floor, on the road, did not let the car drive on Shabbat. They wanted to close before Shabbat. Shabbat is about to start an hour before. They don't want the secular people to drive in a religious neighborhood. They're trying to force the government and the police to make a route around the neighborhoods for 25 hours. But they refuse. We want to drive whatever we want to drive. You don't tell us anything. So what they used to do, they used to demonstrate, throw stones, lay on the floor, block the roads. And you know how it is. The jeep, the police come, and they always have to arrest few to get them scared. So they, 1 hour before Shabbat, or 2 hours before Shabbat, they arrested few religious people and they put them in jail. They're supposed to spend Shabbat there until they see a judge Sunday. In Israel, you have judges on Sunday, not for long. Soon they're going to copy that also from America, that Sunday will be a day off. But for now, they still work in Israel. So what's going on? He comes quickly to his friend Benayahu. I need $1,000 urgent. $1,000 back in those days was a value of the house almost. It's a lot of money. Where is he going to get $1,000 from Bachurei Shiva? So he looked at him and said, well, I'm going to get you such an amount. He said, collect a little bit from each one over here, write it on a piece of paper. I am guaranteeing for the money. I will give you back the money. Just write how much each one gave as a loan. Not tzedakah, loan. I know you guys, Bachurei Shiva, I don't have money. Everyone gives a little bit, $5, $10, $50. Collect, prepare it for me in 1 hour. They collected money, they made $1,000. He ran quickly to the police station. He had to pay bail. He paid them the bail, he released them minutes before Shabbat. He doesn't know them. But he knew the Jews that care about Shabbat that were arrested. It's my obligation to go save them. And he himself doesn't have a penny. He's very poor. He saved them the money. He saved them from the jail. Sunday, he comes to Shmueli. He says to him, I want you to come with me to Meron. Meron, from Yerushalayim, back in the days, is minimum 3 hours ride. Back in those days. Today, there's new roads. So, 3 hours. So it says, I want you to come with me to Meron. So he said, what are we going to do in Meron? He said, I want to go to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai grave. He said, we're learning here Torah. What's to go to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? He said, I want to make a special meal to feed the poor people in Meron, to praise Hashem for the miracle that He made me, that I was able to do mitzvat pidyon shvuim for the first time in my life. That I was able to release Jews from prison. Someone like me, I never believe I'm going to do that mitzvah. I had that opportunity to do Pidyon Shvuim, which is one of the biggest mitzvot. I can even sell Sefer Torah for it. I want to praise Hashem. And we have a sentence in Tehillim. David HaMelech say to Hashem, if you save me from my enemies, I promise you I'm going to make a big Seudat Hodaya, and I will thank you in a big nation with a huge audience. The more people come to hear that you praise Hashem, the better it is for you. It's a bigger mitzvah. So we see from here that when Hashem makes you a miracle, you have to thank Him. One guy, he crossed the street from the shul every day to his car across the street. One time while he was crossing the street in the morning, a car hit him. And he broke all his bones, whatever. He went to the hospital. A month later, he came out. After a month he came out, he made a meal for the shul. He got bagels, lox, cheese. Everybody came, said, don't go home, quick. Let me tell you about the miracle that Hashem made me. A car hit me so fast, and I'm able to walk after a month. The next day, another guy from the shul made a meal. Lox, bagel, same thing. Say to him, what happened to you? A car also hit you? He said, 20 years I crossed this street every day and not once a car hit me. Why should I wait until a car hits me to thank Hashem? I rather thank Hashem when things are good. Not only after I got a punishment for something, now I have to thank Him that I'm still alive. What about the 20 years in such a major road, cars coming, every day I made it for 20 years, it's not a miracle? So going back to our story, and we finish with that. So Rav Chaim told us, he said to Benayahu Shmueli, I want to go with you to Meron. After he convinced him that he want to make Seudat Hodaya for the poor, he asked him, but how are we going to get there? Remember, this is people that don't have a penny in their pocket. He said to him, why you always worry how? We need to do a mitzvah. The rest is not in our hand. Hashem has to do the rest. We have to try. The Chazal asking, Batya bat Paro, when she found Moshe in the Nile, he was very, very far away. She couldn't reach him. It was all the way inside the water. How's she going to get to him? She's going to swim. She doesn't have a gold medal in Olympic Games. She doesn't know how to go and get him. She sent her hand, and it got stretched by a miracle, and she reached Moshe. The Gemara says, but why did she even try? There was no chance to succeed. But I know if I want to touch this lamp now, this chandelier, I can't reach it. What, I'm going to go like this? I know I can reach it. So why did she try to reach Moshe? The answer, back in the days, they knew what we don't know yet today. My job is not to succeed, just to show Hashem that I did my maximum, even when there's no chance. I have to do my share. The rest is in your hand. You want to do a miracle? Do. You don't want? At least I know I did my share. This is the way a Jew has to live. The rest is not in your hand. Calculation, if I'm going to succeed, there is a chance, no chance. I have to do it. The rest is not. I'm going to go and I'm going to give the lecture. People come, very nice. They don't come, I talk to the camera. I talk to the lamp. In Israel, there's an expression, talk to the lamp. One guy came to give a lecture, and they pay, in Israel, they pay good money to the speakers. So they pay him like 2,000 shekel a night, which is very good, $500 in Israel. Average Israeli worker make 4,000 shekel a month. All month, $1,000. Speaker in Israel, popular one, he comes one lecture, 1 hour, he goes to another place, another hour, 4,000 shekel. What the worker makes in 1 month of hard work in the sun, the speaker makes in 1 night. Beautiful, no? Then he writes book, then he sells CDs, then he has weekend seminars, another $2,000-3,000. Here you go. He makes $30,000 a month, better than a lawyer from Harvard here. He knows a little Torah, and he's very successful. Baruch Hashem. I don't live in Israel. Don't be so happy. In America, it's a different story. But that's the way it is. So now, the point is like this, that one speaker went to speak, and he saw only one person came. So in one hand, he was very disappointed. Only one person came to hear me. But then on the other hand, he said, wow, how lucky I am that this person showed up. Without him, I wouldn't get paid. The lecture wouldn't take place. Who do I talk to? The lamp? They say, why did you talk? Who told you to talk? So because he came, now I'm going to get paid at least. That's how he thought. He said, let me pretend I'm going to give the lecture as usual. $500. So he said to the guy, I'm so thankful to you that you showed up. So the guy said to him, can you do me a favor? Can you finish it quick because I'm the next speaker after you? You're talking to the wall. So anyway, Rav Chaim Todros, he said to him, why you always worry? You trust Hashem or you don't trust Hashem? He said, okay, how are we going to go? He said, with a cab. He said to him, you crazy? A cab is $100. How are we going to get $100 to go to Meron? He said to him again, $100. You have to trust Hashem. We're going to get, we'll go. We don't get, at least we tried. So what would you do? You go and collect, no? Can you give me donation? Can you give me 5, 10? What do you need money for? I want to go to Meron to make a Seudah. I need money. I need to buy food. I need $200-300 here, no? So what do you do? Today, somebody that doesn't have money and wants to do Seudah in Meron, he knocks on some door. I'm collecting. What are you collecting? To feed the poor in Meron. $5, $1, $5, $10. Collects all day. The next day he goes, no? That's not how Rav Chaim Todros was. He said, I have to do the mitzvah. I'm not even worried about how I'm going to get the money. I begin to do the mitzvah. I get stuck, it's Hashem's problem, not mine. That's how he lived. But with strong emunah. If we would live like that, we would be on the street in 24 hours. They put us on a television. So look at this crazy guy. He trusts that money will fall from heaven. But if you're in the level of emunah like he was, Hashem performed for him thousands of times. One miracle after the other against all odds. Not once, not twice, hundreds of times every month like this. Miracle after miracle. It's not even excited anymore. He's used to it already. So he calls the cab. Where? To Meron. Okay, $100. They get in a cab, they don't have $1 in their pocket. He gets in a cab. They drive to Meron. Benayahu Shmueli tells the story and he shakes. I'm in a cab, excuse my language, making in my pants from fear. What will happen when we get to Meron and he's going to say, where is the money? And we say we don't have. Plus, I'm thinking, where are we going to get the food from? There's no food. We go on the way. So I ask him, where do you plan to get the food from? He said, I'll tell the driver on the way there's a place, they have very good ashgacha. We'll get it from there. And one of the gas stations on the way, there's a kosher place. So he said, I already was afraid to ask him how you're going to get the money. Because I already see how he is. So I sit and I stay quiet. On the way, they get to a restaurant. He said, please wait for me here 5-10 minutes. I have to collect the food. He goes inside the restaurant. He said to the owner of the restaurant, religious guy, I want to make Seudat Odaya to the poor people in Meron, and I want to get some rice, chicken, whatever you have over here. So he said to him, what, you had a baby? Mazal Tov, what happened? Seudat Odaya. You were sick, what happened? He said, no. He told him the story about the people who got arrested. The owner of the restaurant was so impressed, and he saw how he dressed. He felt bad for him. He said, I can't charge you for that. Give me a share in your mitzvah, please. So he said to him, where is your car? He said, car, what car? He said, the cab is waiting here. Cab? You came from Yerushalayim with a cab? Wow, this guy doesn't believe this guy. They take out the food, they put it in a cab. He asked the driver, how much is the ride from Yerushalayim to Meron? He said, $100. He took out cash. He said, here, paid for it. He said, I'm looking at him now. I can't believe to my eyes what I see. Now they arrived to Meron. The cab was paid. The food was paid. We come out of the cab. We begin to take the food and put it on the tables there. There's tables outside. We see the Baba Sali, Rabbi Israel Abu Chatzera, is sitting in a long table with 30 Moroccan millionaires from Paris. All these big shots with their ties, sitting with the Baba Sali, drinking, eating. They had some kind of a simcha there. As soon as the Baba Sali saw him, he went like this to him. Not one word they spoke. The Baba Sali called him. One of the Moroccan people came, kissed the hand of the Baba Sali, gave him an envelope. You know, people give the holy tzaddikim, they give him tzedakah. The Baba Sali took the envelope. As soon as Rav Chaim Todros arrived to him, he gave it to him. He said he took it from the hand of the Baba Sali. He said, this is for you. So later I hid it aside. I counted how much money in the envelope, $1,000. This is how he lived. He didn't save. He didn't care about this world. All he was is 100% a servant of Hashem. If we will be 5% of this tzaddik, you have no idea how wonderful our life would be. No stress, no losing hair, no gray hair, no horrible stress, no panic attack, no anger attack, no Prozac, no psychologist, no psychiatrist, no marriage counselor, no court, no lawsuits. The list is very long. You want to get rid of all this? Elevate your emunah a little bit. Elevate it by 10 more percent. You'll see wonders in your life. Wonders in your life. You know what it means, emunah? Rav Chaim Kanievsky testified that his father, the Stipler, Alav HaShalom, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, Kadosh Livracha, he wrote a book also 50 years ago, when Rav Chaim Kanievsky was a teenager. Today is maybe almost 90. So we're talking about 70-something years ago, this story. When everyone in Israel were super poor. Not poor, super poor. No Israel, no job, Arabs, British, and Jews. The money that he needed to publish his book was 7,000 lirot. Let's say today, $7,000, more or less. One person walked in the room. Rav Chaim Kanievsky said he was a kid. The person said to his father, the Stipler, שמעתי שכבודו צריך כסף להדפיס את ספרו. I heard that you need, כבוד הרב, money to publish your book. How much is that? The Stipler told him, the amount of money that necessary is 7,000 lirot. The guy took a staff of cash. Not like today. Today, Baruch Hashem, there's a lot of rich people. He doesn't come, somebody else would come. When you couldn't find almost anyone who barely make a living. People used to wait for food stamps. The British used to have trucks. You had to wait 3 hours. They give you a few stamps and you get a little flour. And plus, almost every day there was curfew. My father was born in Israel. He was a kid back in the day. My father told me when we didn't have what to eat, they made curfew. If you needed to go to borrow from one of the neighbors or somebody that you know, you want to take something to eat, you're not allowed to leave the house. So they used to send the kids. They used to send me. I used to run left and right. They were shooting in the legs to scare the kids. They're shooting, not to hurt, but to scare them. So I used to run like this, to confuse them. That's how it was, zigzag. This is the days that we are talking here about. This is the days we're talking here about. Somebody come and offering you 7,000 lirot back in the days. You grab it. Your dream is to publish your book. He told him, it's okay, I already managed. I don't need the money. And Rav Chaim Kanievsky say, I don't say when my father talk, I don't talk. But I know he doesn't have the money. But I see it. He said, I manage, it's okay. Then he left. He said, oh, I missed the opportunity. Chaval, Kvod Harav, I'm sorry. I should have come earlier. He left the room. Rav Chaim said, I asked my father, but you don't have the money. Why you didn't want to take money from him? So he told him, I know this person is not honest. I don't want my book to be published from his money. If Hashem wants to send me somebody kosher, I'll publish my book. If not, better not to publish. I do not make one sin that because of the sin I'm going to make a mitzvah later on. No. You want me, I make a mitzvah, I want to make it pure from the beginning to the end. I don't go and steal that I can go and buy good matzot for Leila Seder. No. I rather have matzot that are not as strict than to go and steal and buy stolen matzot and don't do the mitzvah at all. Doesn't count with stolen. 5 minutes later, somebody else walked into the room. Kvod Harav, I heard you want to publish your book. How much? He told him, we need 7,000 lirot. He took money and he gave him the money. And then he left, and his father told him, you see, all you have to do in life is to trust Hashem. That's it. He does everything. But trust him. I trusted him that he will send me the money from a kosher source. I don't need to take it from a non-kosher source. I can get, if I get it from a kosher source, I know Hashem wants it. If he sent me a crook, that's why, from all the people in the world, he sent me that crook. Why? I don't want his money. I want my book published from clean money. But that's a level of emunah. How many people in the world will turn down the first one? How many? Believe me, we will find 100 excuses why it's mitzvah to take it from the crook. Why? Because we don't have emunah, so we begin to find excuses. But someone that has emunah, I'm nothing in this world. Hashem runs the world. You want me to do something right? You have to help me. You don't want to help me? I don't do it. I can't do it. I'm anus. Anus. I'm forced not to do it. That's it. Any questions before we finish?
How do we start to get to that point of love? I know it's
First thing you do, you begin to listen to my lecture series about confidence in Hashem. Confidence in Hashem. There's also a very good book about Emunah that was published in this generation. It's called Garden of Emunah. Read this book. It's a collection from the words of the Chovot Alvavot and some words of Chazal. It's a very good collection of lots of strong, powerful parts from our holy books. Everything gathered into one book. You read it, you have it in English, in Russian, in Farsi, in Hebrew, and a few other languages. You read that book, your life will never be the same. I know Goyim that I told them to read it. Their life is not the same. Goyim. They told me after I read that book, I must convert. I said, I only gave you this book to keep you strong when you don't have parnasah, you don't make a living. I saw how much you suffer. I told you read that book. Well, what is the connection between this to conversion? He said, after I saw that the Jews have such relationship with Hashem, that by faith you get everything you want, you ask me why I want to convert? You understand what's going on here? You read that, I have a few good lectures about it. Confidence in Hashem, part 1, 2, 3, and 4, and many other lectures. Confidence, faith, check in my list. You have many, many lectures. Go in a search box, put faith. Some lectures will come out. Put confidence. Many of them would come out. From the whole list of lectures, you put in a search box any topic you want, few lectures come out. Somebody is about to marry a Goya, put in my website, intermarriage. On a search box, one word, intermarriage. I made a very powerful lecture about intermarriage in Brooklyn a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. When I gave that lecture, there was about 90 to 100 young boys and girls in their 20s, more or less. Boys and girls, many. When I gave that lecture, it was 1.5 hour lecture. Half of the people in the audience were crying, tears were falling. I'm looking at the audience, half of them are crying. And some of them couldn't take the pain. They got up in the middle and went out. They just couldn't stay in a lecture. Why? Either half of them already married to Goyim, or are engaged to Goyim, or are in love with Goyim. That's why they were crying. Why do you think they're crying? Because they finally realized what's going to be their end. That's why they were crying. Nobody else has the guts, unfortunately, to tell them what's going to be their end. They tell them it's not good, it's not recommended, it's not successful, but in his mind he thinks, I'm so much in love with Christine. What is he telling me? It's not going to be successful. She's the best woman in history. Fine. Until the love wears out, the temptation, the desire. Then you deal with her parents. They want you in Christmas night in their house. Come, Moshe, light the tree with us. And then one day you have kids, and they come to your house with their crosses, with their idol, and they begin to talk to your kids about JC and his mother Miriam, which they converted her to Mary, and the whole story. And when you put them babysitter because your wife wants, the next thing they begin to tell the kids this thing, and then one day you wonder why your kids are not interested anymore. Not to talk about usually that almost all these marriages ended in court. Almost all of them, one after the other. But that's not what I'm talking about. Because you can tell me, but many Jewish marriages also goes to the garbage in this generation. So we won't marry at all? I'm not coming to tell you successful, not successful. No. I'm just coming to say it's a huge crime against Hashem. Think if you want to do this crime. That's all. That's why I cut all the sources in one lecture. And Baruch Hashem, some people already had invitation for wedding. That's very hard to cancel a wedding when you already send invitation. It's a very big embarrassment. After they watched that lecture, they just could not get married. With all the love and all the desire, they just could not get married. Why? Because they realize what's going to be their end. And when people know the price, they think a million times before they order. One Bukharian told me in Miami Beach over here, I spoke by the Bukharian a few months ago, on Shabbat we walk, right next to the Bukharian shul, there is a club, restaurant, very fancy, if you know what I'm talking about, 41st Street in Miami Beach, on the main road. There is a very fancy restaurant. I see about 5-6 Rolls Royce waiting online, Bentley. Friday night, after the lecture, I see all these Rolls Royce on both sides of the road. I asked the Bukharian, we're a bunch of maybe 20 people, we walk on the street. What's over here, all these Rolls Royce? They told me this restaurant. It's very fancy, all the movie star comes here. So one Bukharian guy that just became religious back then in the day, he told me, you know what happened to me here? I took a girl on a date. I was new here. I didn't know. I saw a nice place. I took her into the restaurant. I sit inside. The girl comes and says, what can we get for you? Say, you have a bottle of wine? She says, yes, we have this wine. I don't know anything about wines. She gives me a list of the thing. I look at the menu. Each bottle of wine, $20,000 and up. I almost died. Now I'm in a shidduch, in a date. Embarrassment, whatever. But I said to her, can you believe it? It's $20,000 a bottle of wine. She saved him. She said, let's get out of here. It's not for us. Imagine if she said, okay, let's have one. We'll see how it tastes. But some people from the embarrassment will order. What can they do? And then take a mortgage to pay for the bottles of wine. I want to thank Rabbi Maoz for opening this beautiful keilah and shul here. It's not the first time I'm here. I want to thank Rabbi Mizrachi and his wife and all the other wonderful people here in the shul, Renee and everybody else here and the cooks for having everything perfect. You just couldn't say another word. One word, perfect. Everything was perfect. We spoke a lot of shiurim. Everyone is thirsty here for shiurei Torah. I want to make the announcement for Rav Maoz because I know that's what's on his mind, that every morning there are shiurei Gemara here, 6:15 a.m. every morning. Sunday he gives you a discount, it's only 6:30. Okay? So you don't have to come 6:15, 6:30. After that they have minyan between 7 and 8. From 8 to 8:30 they have breakfast, delicious breakfast. And after that there's another 45 minutes of shiur. And then 6 in the evening, before Mincha and Arvit, another shiur. And then, beautiful, basically it's already a shiva, this place. You have an opportunity to come here, learn, enjoy, and Baruch Hashem, without Torah, it's very difficult, especially here. Some cities have a beach. Here, the whole city is a beach. If you live on a beach, if you don't have Torah, you're done, Habibi. You're done. You have to grab to the Torah every second of your life. See you again. Please take free CDs before over there, before they're gone. Thank you very much.